Hey crafty people! Welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Welcome back. Today we are going to make another project using junk mail envelopes, and it was inspired by Tracy Fox project I saw. And she used real envelopes to make pockets, and she sealed up the envelope and cut open the top and decorated it and then used a wax seal and something underneath. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'm like, but why use a new envelope when I can do a junk mail envelope with faux flaps? So this is just a piece of paper glued down to look like flap. And I got two versions of it, one with a pointy flap and one with a solid flap. And I'm using US letter size envelopes, which measure 9.5 by a smidge over 4. So I've already gone ahead and cut down several, and I've cut them in half so that they are 4 3/4 by 4 inches tall. I've got some papers here that I can use to cover. I've also got, I recently picked up on Amazon a little thing for melting my wax melts for seals, because I figured this is safer than using a candle. So I've got that going to start melting the wax for the first one. I've got Christmas paper and Halloween paper because that's what I'm primarily working on. I've got a mixture of digitals and scrapbook papers. So let's go ahead and start on doing one so I can show you the whole process. So I really want to use this digital. I really want to use that one. It's got pumpkins and a black cake with a candle. I'm just like, I just really like that one. I think that's Polka Art Studios. I will double check and leave the information down below. And I'm just looking through the stack of papers I've got here to find something to go with that. Given how busy that is, I'm trying to find something less busy. Like that. I think that might work. And I think it's either, I think that might be my porch prints. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I'll double check. And as always, leave a list down below. I think we're gonna make this our bottom piece. And so I don't have to worry about anything. I'm just gonna cut it to 4 and then cut it in to 4 3/4. So 4 and then 4 3/4 to fully cover the base. And what I do for the top piece is I cut a piece that is 4. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, I cut a piece that's 4 3/4. Yes, and did I cut that wrong? I think I cut that wrong. Oh no, I did not. Okay, we're good. All right. So for the top piece, I'm gonna cut this at 4 3/4 and then cut it down at 2. Okay, on this one, I cut it at 2.5. This one I cut at 2. I must have had a brain freeze. I think for this one, I'd want it more at 2. And I actually think for this one, I'd prefer it at 2.5. So we're gonna do the first one as a pointy one. So we're gonna cut it at 2.5. And then what I did was I went to the middle of the piece, which is, you know what, let me grab my center roller. That's gonna make this so much easier than doing the math. So we're just gonna do that. And if you're not familiar with the centering ruler, it's got the 0 in the center. So as long as you have the same amount on either side, you know you're in the center of your piece. So there's the center, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop off a corner coming down here the center. And then I'm gonna do the same going this way. And so we're gonna cut that off. Let me grab my paper trimmer. And this is working out pretty good because the wax is melted. So what I'm gonna do is just line up the top of my line and the bottom of my line on my paper trimmer and trim. And then switch it around and do that again. So let's set that aside, and what we can do is now put together our first envelopes. Doesn't matter which side you use, I'm just gonna make sure this is closed all the way. And in fact, it's a little easier to glue it to that side. So we're gonna glue it shut first. Now, if you want to use it as like a freestanding pocket, you're gonna wanna cover both sides, but as I plan on using these as ones that get glued into a journal, I am just gonna glue that down. Just make sure we remember which end is our open end, which there's a little bit popping up from where the envelope was sealed, so I'm just gonna run some glue in there. And now I'm gonna add this on. Now you could round this, but since we're gonna cover it with the wax seal, I'm not gonna bother. It's gonna go on like that. That does not look like it's centered properly, but I'm hoping it'll be fine once we add the wax. All right, let me figure out which seal I want to use. These are Christmas ones, so none of those. I think we're gonna go with the pumpkin. It's fitting with what we've got going on there. And I'm gonna grab a die cut leaf, and these are from the Artsy Leaves by Holtz and Sizzix, and I don't remember the number off the top of my head and don't have the stuff handy, so I will leave that down below. Now, just to help us out so it doesn't move while we're putting the wax seal on, I'm gonna put a little glue up here and a little glue there, just to make life easier. Put that down, and I went ahead and marked a line for right side up, because if you look at the sample ones, they're all a little cockeyed because I didn't get them centered correctly. I also have, which I find very helpful, this is a Sizzix tool. It's a silicone tool for going with like hot glue and stuff, but it helps a lot with getting out the wax when doing wax seals. Ooh, I got a little messy because I was trying to juggle multiple things. I'm just gonna shift that off to the side and give it a little time to cool off. Let's do one more Halloween one. Set wax in to melt. All right, so I've grabbed over some of my scrapbook paper. And I think I'm trying to decide, all right, first let's get everything glued closed, and I can have a think about which one I want top and which one I want bottom. I think I'm gonna use the stripe and the houndstooth because I've got purple wax melting. So I want it to contrast. I think it'll blend in too much with the purple polka dots. So close this up. Make sure we're all sealed up here so things don't get caught on that when we go to put them in. I think we'll do that. Just gonna put a mark on here and use my guillotine instead of measuring this time around. And I will probably go around and ink the edges on everything after I'm done, just to cover up any possible white spots that might be showing, because we don't want that. Yeah, that went over a little, but I can always trim that up. So I'm gonna cut off a piece that's 4 3/4 by 2. I am gonna grab my corner rounder. I'm also gonna grab a scrap piece of paper because this paper is very thin, and you'll find that hole punches or punches don't tend to like thin paper. So I'm just gonna go ahead and round those corners. And by adding an extra layer, you can help it along. You can trick it into thinking the paper's thicker than it is. So that's why I grabbed that scrap piece of paper. I think I'm gonna go ahead and ink the edges on this before attaching it, because once it's down, it will be hard to ink that. And I'm gonna trim this bit off because I measured one, so it's sticking out. Just be careful, don't cut your envelope back open if you need to do any trim up. So yeah, I'm gonna grab some black soot. Glue this on. So there's the other style of envelope, and I'm just gonna make sure. Did I do that? Okay, yeah, no, I just have some. The envelope keeps wanting to stick closed, so I'm just making sure that stays open. All right, now let's grab. So I've got a crow, another pumpkin, and a spooky tree scene. Let's do the crow. Let's grab. That's a flourish. This is, I think, from one of the new Tim Holtz Vault series with Sizzix. So I'm just gonna add that there. I'm gonna hold this like so. Pour. And I forgot to glue that down. So hopefully it'll stay in place and not shift while I'm getting the wax. I'm worried there's not going to be enough wax for the size of this seal, but and that just like smooshed. Let's see. I think I can get it back under. All right, hopefully that's going to work okay. That was probably a bad call right there. All right, this one should be cooled enough I can pull that off, and I still managed to not get it on straight. How is it that I'm like incapable of getting these things on straight? Oh, now I have marker or pens that I bought. They're metallic pens. And let's grab the black, and I'm just gonna go over the impression so that it stands out more. Now I will warn you, you're gonna wanna leave this to sit and dry completely, because yeah, I've smudged it off before. But just a little bit to bring out all the detail in the wax seal. Set that one aside, and let's do a Christmas one this time around. So let's grab our envelopes. Wax melting for me. Make sure we're sealed shut all the way. Let's go ahead and get this one prepped too. grab my paper. These are digitals by Cotton and Twig, I think. And since this is the bottom and we're going to be putting something over top, I'm not worried about the fact that it doesn't cover all the way. So yeah, this is a good way to use up scraps, your bigger scraps as well. And I'm using art glitter glue, but you can use whatever glue you prefer. You could definitely use glue stick for this. All right, so let's see, do we want, that piece is not big enough. That or that as our, I think we're gonna go with this. I think I'm gonna do this one as the straight top. So let's go 4 3/4. Cut that at 2. And again, we are gonna round our corners. And I am gonna ink edges. I'm gonna use Rustic Wilderness. And again, the only reason I'm doing this piece is because it's hard to ink once it's glued down. I can ink around the edges afterwards and will probably do so off camera. Check we haven't glued our flap closed. We have not. Or our envelope. Glue our flap on. Now you of course don't have to use 2 different papers if you don't want to. You could use the same. We're gonna go with Merry Christmas on this one. This is how it's gonna get stamped. Oh, almost forgot the little piece to go underneath. All right, let's stick this back on so it does not cool off while we're doing this. I think I'm gonna ink that to make it stand out a little bit more. It's not standing out enough for my liking. Let's grab a brush, some Rustic Wilderness, and darken it. And I think I may turn it up more so it's less on the green part and more on the lighter part on the top. I think I may go more like that with it. Actually, it would probably look better like there. All right, we got that. We got this, we got that, we've got this, and it's going on exactly that way. And you know what? We're going to remember this time to use a little glue to tack it down so that we don't face the same problem we had last time with it moving. The real problem here is these handles are not, they're designed to pour this way, and I'm right-handed, and it would be easier if I could use my right hand to scoop the wax out, but that's not working so much. All right, I'm trying to clean out the purple wax from this one so that the next one we do can have green wax and not have it mixing with the purple. Yeah, I like the wax seals. The only problem I have is I can never get all of the wax to come out when I pour. Set that to melting, and this one should be dry. It came out okay. Didn't get quite all the way over there as I would have liked, but it's not too bad. And let's go ahead and grab the pen again. Let's move that up there, pull our pen over so you can see the details better. but I got a dog on the couch snoring. All right, we're gonna set that one aside to dry. Let's pull over. The other one we got prepped. Let's grab some paper. Look at that, that's almost like the perfect size. Let's see. Oh, and I think that'll look nice. Yep, that's what we'll go with. All right, so I think I'm gonna just attach this and trim off the little bit that's overhanging. I think that'll be the easiest way to do this. So let's add glue to this side. Oh, we are popping up a little over here. Let's glue that down. Don't think I did that already. All right, let's cut this piece to 4 3/4. I have literally like this much space to work with on my desk right now. And then we'll cut this down to 2 1/2. And I think I'm gonna tweak how I do this a little bit. I think I will like it better if we do this first. Round the top corner. I think this is gonna work, and if not, we'll just grab another piece of paper and round this one. Now this one I'm definitely gonna ink because I'm seeing some white showing. I think I may need a new blade for my paper trimmer. Nope. I want it to go that way. Okay, so yeah, that's not gonna work, and it's also apparently, I still have a little hanging over. Actually, how is that not the right size? How is that not the right size? It's 4 3/4. It's 4 3/4. We're gonna just trim a sliver off the edge here. All right. Let's see, does that match up now? It does. All right. Glue our envelope closed again because I'm pretty sure that opened us up. Not quite. Okay, there was enough glue spread when I sealed it that we're still good. All right, now I'm gonna grab my centering ruler again and flip this over and mark our center again. And then I'm also gonna mark we're lifting up a little, so I'm gonna mark here. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna explain my thinking in a sec. I think part of the problem is with these is I'm not leaving enough here, so I definitely want to come down from where the top is, and I think we're gonna do a line here, and so we're gonna go like that. And like that. Let's fingers crossed this is gonna work, because otherwise we're cutting a new piece of paper. Basically, I want to go from a little bit below where the top is to the center mark. And then flip over here and do the same. I think this is going to work a little bit better. I may not have needed to round the top corner. Let's find our top opening and let's ink our edges, and I'm gonna grab red.
And what I think I may do is just fold this over instead of futzing with trimming it off. Yeah, I think that works a little bit better. I'm gonna just darken this corner a little bit since it didn't quite get all the way there. All right, greenery. I think that's fine. One of the leaves came off, so I'm gonna put the wax where the leaf was. And again, just add a little glue to keep it from moving. I'm gonna do green. Oh, I got a Christmas tree. Let's do the Christmas tree. And the Christmas tree, I did not mark the top on. Let me do that real quick so that I can hopefully get it on straight. Wow, that's oozing. All right, let's set that one aside. Let's bring this one over and we can pull that up. And I got it right side up. Didn't get too much around. So yeah, my wax sealing is still a work in progress. So let's go ahead and pull out a pen, gold, and go over it so you can actually see that it says Merry Christmas. All right, I'm gonna wait for that one to dry, and then I think we're gonna call that quits for today. Keep it to a reasonably length video. Okay, so this one's ready for a little bit of pen on the seal to bring out the Christmas tree. So let's go with red on this one. Not loving the red. It might be, oh, the red one is dry. That would be why. Okay. It's a dual nib and the other nib has ink in it. So let's do that. All right. So we've got two Christmas ones and two Halloween ones. Now I did want to tell you I did a few off camera. And on this one, what I did was I came down a 1/4 inch from the top instead of doing the rounding and went down to the bottom to create the point. And I like this one, like this is the way to do it. Like this is the answer for doing it that way. So that is what I think is the best route for this and the one I'm gonna use from now on. But that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.